This time, it's notable that Chinese media and Chinese Communist Party (CCP) officials have significantly reduced their dissemination of information related to Xi Jinping. Previously, whenever CCP officials made statements, they frequently mentioned Xi Jinping's name and praised him. CCP media would also always mention Xi Jinping, reporting on the party's policies or Xi Jinping's meetings with foreign dignitaries. The exposure of Xi Jinping's name has always been extensive, which has been seen as an attempt to promote his personal cult and deification. However, recently, Chinese media has drastically decreased its coverage of not only Xi Jinping's name but also his political policies. Even high-ranking CCP officials, who are considered close to Xi and are seen as his loyal supporters, have barely mentioned his name or his policies. This has led to a mystery in the political world of China. Why has this happened? It is often said that changes in the Chinese political world first appear in media expressions. For example, some people monitor how often Xi Jinping's name appears on the front page of People's Daily. When the frequency of his name suddenly decreases, it is considered a sign of some unusual event, drawing significant attention. Such changes in media are closely watched, and information spreads rapidly within the Chinese-speaking world. Consequently, various theories have emerged in Japan as well, suggesting that something might have happened to Xi Jinping. Despite the spread of information, the specific details remain unclear, leading to speculation ranging from military uprisings to Xi Jinping's possible illness. As this speculation grows, it becomes increasingly apparent that something significant has indeed occurred concerning Xi Jinping, especially given the alignment of this information with the timing of the Beijing meeting. This meeting is an unofficial gathering in Beijing, where both active and retired CCP officials come together for discussions. During this period, official information from CCP leaders often diminishes, partly because it coincides with the summer holiday season, a time when official activities slow down. As the holiday ends, reports gradually start covering Xi Jinping and other top CCP officials, confirming that no one has disappeared or been ousted. Nonetheless, the reduction in the mention of Xi Jinping's name and policies by both CCP officials and Chinese media continues to raise questions. One emerging theory is that Xi Jinping might be reconsidering his approach. Previously, it was portrayed that Xi was in command of all aspects of Chinese politics, both domestic and foreign, with every decision attributed to him. This portrayal, however, has led to internal dissatisfaction within the party, as Xi is seen as wanting to control everything. The current situation in China, both domestically and diplomatically, has deteriorated significantly compared to the past. For instance, Xi Jinping had promised to resolve youth unemployment years ago, but the problem has only worsened. He also claimed to have eradicated poverty in China, yet many people still feel they have not escaped poverty. Diplomatically, relations with the United States have deteriorated. Under Deng Xiaoping, it was said that countries that maintained good relations with the U.S. became prosperous, while those that were antagonistic toward the U.S. became poor. Deng sought to improve China's prosperity by maintaining good relations with the U.S., despite internal communist opposition. This logic was a way to justify the CCP's relationship with the U.S., even though the two nations were ideologically opposed. However, Xi Jinping's policies, which prioritize party ideology over business interests, have led to tighter controls on companies closely connected with the U.S., worsening relations between the two countries. Xi's statements about not ruling out military options against Taiwan have further strained ties with the U.S., which already finds it uncomfortable to maintain relations with a communist state rather than a democratic Taiwan. As a result, relations have deteriorated significantly under Xi's leadership. In response to the growing domestic and diplomatic challenges, Xi may have decided to shift the focus away from himself as the sole responsible leader. If he were to be seen as directly responsible for issues like unemployment, failure would reflect poorly on him. Therefore, he might now prefer to delegate responsibility to other officials, so any failures can be attributed to them instead. This approach also allows Xi to later claim credit if any issues are successfully resolved. The Chinese political situation has reached a point where the problems are too severe to be addressed effectively, and any solutions seem unlikely to improve the situation. For example, the unresolved youth unemployment problem will only worsen as more graduates enter the job market. The financial sector, too, faces significant challenges, with small banks already struggling and being absorbed by larger banks to prevent widespread panic. However, this approach is unsustainable, and even larger banks may eventually face instability. Aware of these issues, Xi Jinping might be preparing to deflect blame by reducing his visibility and holding other officials accountable for specific problems. This shift suggests a recognition that the situation in China will likely worsen rather than improve, necessitating a strategy to manage responsibility and blame.